I want to clarify something in this episode of the Real Me podcast, which I don't think will be very long, but if it is long, then it is what it is. Last night I put that video out on the YouTube play button, and I'm not going to regurgitate anything I said in that video because I had very, very good points to make in that video. And I'm not going to talk about this play button again. I just want to do this to kind of clarify the things that I said in case I did assume things about others that are not true. Because I don't want to assume. I literally made a video about not assuming things, which was my Gemini North Node video. And I don't want to be someone who makes a video and then just literally doesn't practice what I preach. So that's why I'm doing this one. So, I did a video. The video last night was of a, the video last night was on the YouTube play button mainly. And, I'm not holding myself back on this podcast. If I get mad or if I laugh or do whatever, then, that's me now. I may not always be like this, and likely it will not always be like this. I don't want to be somebody who's not self-aware. And I think that it shows that I am fairly self-aware because I acknowledge certain things in that video that shows, like, I'm aware of comparisonitis and your worth being defined, and I didn't just make a whole thing about I'm jealous, and I do it all that without acknowledging that. So, I'm very, very self-aware of that. And I'm only doing this video because I feel like I want to do it because I want to clarify what I've said, not because of anyone else telling me I should be doing this. Then I have to, check in with myself and see, is this right? Do I really feel like I want to do this? Or can I answer them in another way? Or, approach it in another way? I don't know. But, okay, let me just jump to it. I said something, and I was kind of worried when I said it, when I was listening back, hearing what I said, and I was like, I hope I didn't assume anything wrong about anyone. I hope I didn't do that, because I don't want to be the one who just points fingers and assumes at people. I hope I didn't make the false assumption that this person that I was referring to, and you could go back and see that video to know what I'm talking about, this creator who shit off his play button, defines his worth through others. I don't want to make that false assumption, because that is probably not a true thing about this person's probably very worthy and very, feels a sense of solid self-worth about himself and what he does, and he doesn't need others to validate that. But, and I realize thanking someone is not handing over your power. Thanking somebody is not handing over your sense of self-worth. Okay. When you're thanking somebody in your real life, you are not giving away your sense of self-worth, because it's saying thank you to somebody and thanking somebody or thanking a community of people is not giving away your self-worth. It is you just being kind and you just expressing from your own authentic heart what you want to express of, a thank you. It's just that so I hope it didn't sound like that. Because Because looking back, I don't believe that. Now, in real life, that's the way it is. On YouTube, well, it kind of becomes a little bit different, you know? As I've stated in that video, this person wrote a nice little message to his community, and it was nice, and it was like, leave that in there, or put like a number or subscribers or whatever, or just put a picture of yourself without the plaque, without the YouTube play button. And, it's fine. Just take a picture of yourself. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Just don't post that darn thing in your community posts. The message was fine. He was thanking his community, and by thanking his community, he was just giving back. Just saying thank you. Like I would do the same thing. If a lot of followers were following me and I appreciated the support, I would say thank you. However, when you go as far as show something off that YouTube gives you, that is something which is not based off of the effort and the time and the energy that you put into your videos, but because of just followers and likes and subscribers, and you show that off, it comes across as you're showing off. I mean, to me, it comes across as showing off, and I have an issue with it. And then it's not a thank you anymore because you're showing it off. Okay? It's bragging. Okay, there's another side to this that I'm remembering. There are actors and actresses who come on and give speeches for the awards that they get, and they say thank you for all of that, and what it's a nice award. They can absolutely do that because they've worked hard to receive that award, because of their own acting, because of the effort that they put in to perfect the role that they were playing, and to do it very, very well, and others are seeing it, but it's not defined by others. I mean, I don't look at actors receiving awards, and I'm envious. I mean, I'm not an actor, myself, and I don't want to be, but, well, I guess you could throw that factor into the equation, but I don't look at that and I'm, jealous. That is different than this. Now, with YouTube, awards don't work at all. I just want to re-emphasize that in that other video, because on the one hand, if you get awarded for popularity, likes, and views, then you're defining your, you define your self-worth through that, and you can tend to define your self-worth through that, and and it becomes a popularity contest. I should say a popularity contest when it comes to how many views you're getting and how popular you are, and that's unfair. That doesn't work. On the other hand, if you were awarded, some channels were awarded than others, and others will compare themselves like, why am I not as good as this person? Because everybody is equal and everybody is a unique individual, and we don't want to make others better than others by giving some awards to others and not others. We don't want to do that. We don't want to just give out rewards to some people to just prove that some are better than others. some are more worthy than others because everybody is special. So, that also would not be fair and that would not work. Both ways out. These are famous actors, but famous actors in a way where they have done the work to put it in. The thing with these actors is that it's not just something that you get in the mail based off of an algorithm, based off of how many likes and comments and followers you get. It's because you're an actor and you're in this position and you've worked so hard, you're getting this award. And yes, it means a lot to you to get awards. We get awards. I could do a whole video on the philosophy of awards. In fact, this may become that. It's going to go into that. Awards represent what you have done. They do not define what you have done. They can represent all the hard work that you put into something, not defining and replacing it for that, not changing your self-worth and putting it into that. Just they may reflect or represent that. And now I'm debating whether I should change one of the titles of my videos now. A representation. Yeah. I think I'm going to go in and change that. On my spiritual side of money video, I called it a reflection of self-worth. I mean, it was still pretty good. I think I'm considering retitling that. Because I don't want to do something inaccurate. Well, but I think that don't represent and reflect, aren't those the same things or are those different things? I don't know. Yeah, I may go in and change that actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Now that I think about it, I kind of had some doubts about that title, and I think I just want to change it to something more true of, what it is now. I just couldn't find the words. Like, money doesn't define your sense of self-worth. Like an external thing, external people do not define your sense of self-worth. You define it for yourself. And things can represent that on the outside, but they don't define it. They don't mean it. So, I clearly was not saying that in the video. I made it very, very clear. And the same kind of applies here. Just with social media, this is not appropriate to be sending out awards to certain creators out of the millions of channels and creators out there in social media. Instagram doesn't do that as far as I'm concerned. I don't think TikTok does it. I don't think Facebook does it. Why does YouTube do it? Why do these things even exist to begin with? That's what I'm questioning to myself right now. This is so funny. Because YouTube... Let me just look up something here. I looked this up before and I may just go into the chart with the sign of YouTube. Okay. Registered on February 14, 2005. And it's interesting, the first video is me at the zoo. It was uploaded on April 23rd, 2005. Okay. YouTube's an Aquarius. YouTube is an Aquarius. Sun. An Aquarius in astrology embraces everyone as they are. As they are, accepts all the differences as they are, and believes in fairness, equality, the good of humanity. And isn't YouTube like that? Everybody creates their own videos and they, share their authentic selves, and then they share to, the world. Like that's YouTube. And some channels have more subscribers than others, but, that's just how it works. But, every channel is equal. Well, with this award and people showing it off in their videos, it then doesn't make it so Aquarian anymore. Social media is Aquarius, and YouTube is not making it Aquarian anymore. Because now they're making it unequal. They're making it a contest to see who is more popular than others. Who is, and popular does not mean better. Popular does not mean better. There are a lot of popular things out in the world that do not get rewards. There are a lot of films and books and things that don't get all the big awards. Watch my astrology videos. I go deep. I'm very insightful. And I'm not getting rewards for those things. So those videos are very, very good. But they're not very popular, and they're not, well, I'm just going to say that, all the videos are, well, I don't want to go there. I guess I could say that, they're not better than other astrology videos, but anyway. And by having creators show these play buttons, these creator awards, it kind of, and showing it off, kind of sends the message, I'm more popular than you. Therefore, I am more worthy than you. Therefore, I am better than you. Not everybody has this play button. Not everybody has what you have. And, there are a lot of creators who do not show these things off. But there are some who just make it abundantly clear that they have it by putting them in their videos and it being distracting. So, I wanted to make this video to clarify some things. I'm not going to apologize or change or take down anything that I say, because I do not want to limit myself with my speech. I have my opinions, and they're going to come out because this is who I am. It's the Real Me podcast for a reason, that you're seeing the real me of who I am. And you're going to hear that. You're going to hear it. But I am also being myself when it comes to really feeling what I've said and honestly feeling like I should clarify this. So that is also me being the real me. So, Oh. Like, if I was in conversation with a content creator who had a play button in their videos, I would say, hey, can you take that thing off? It's a little bit distracting, that plaque behind you. Move that away. It's a little bit distracting. I just want to focus on what you're saying so I can concentrate. Like, yeah, I would not just go along with any creator just showing off their plaque if I was talking to them. Like, I would not just sit and accept and deny, because that's fake. It's like holding in your truth just for others. No, my truth is that I honestly feel like this is distracting, and I'm going to say something about it. And I'm going to be real about it and say, can you move that away, please? And I want them to move it away. And then they didn't get rid of it completely. But at least now I can focus on what, they're saying a little bit more, supposedly. Well, regardless of that, I would feel jealous of them. Like, if I was on a podcast with this creator, for some reason, who showed off their play button, I would say something on that podcast, and I would feel jealous of them because of all the fame. And it's like, it's not until you show off that it becomes a problem. You can have a lot of subscribers and not show it off, and you'd be equal to everybody else, just a different number of followers. Your videos are equal, just the number of people who follow you are not equal. Because people don't define you. People do not define you. So, you're equal with your videos because they're all good, but you just happen to have a different number of followers. It's when you show off that success of all that you have by showing this award, and by, putting it somewhere in your house and showing it in your videos, and it's distracting, that it becomes that it becomes a problem. Like, community posts that give, I saw this community post from this guy who was writing, it had a little, description of, like, a number of followers. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't have a problem with you doing that. But these awards are different. It then makes other people compare themselves. It then makes other people question their own sense of self-worth. This is a big world out there, so I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling this way about this. I'm sure that there's a lot who do not, but I'm sure that there is a lot who do. That compare themselves, that feel jealous, that that question, that feel like they're less than. Like, that is, a human emotion that we feel. Like, jealousy and envy are human emotions. YouTube does not need to perpetuate and make worse these emotions and go to the low road. Because if it's so Aquarius, and if it's an Aquarius, and if it's supposed to be everyone expressing their authentic truth and everyone is equal, and then you hand out these awards and making some channels unequal to others, and you hand out this award to channels, this physical award, not based off of the videos alone, but based off of followers on a social media platform, well, you've just threw yourself under the bus. So, you've just cost yourself a little bit. So, yeah. Sad. Sad, 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 sad. The world that we live in these days with social media. Comparison. If you think about, we can make this even a bigger conversation with social media. Look at, my perfect life and everything like that. Of course, you have to understand that these people are just showing off the good aspects of their life by what they're showing. It's not the full thing. You never know what mental, emotional, other issue that they have going on in their life that may be different that they don't want to show. Okay? So the comparison on social media is a big, big, big issue. And YouTube should not be the place where that comparison is, available to be felt. I mean, at all. Social media shouldn't be the place. I look at a channel who has 1 million subscribers, and I don't think I feel envious. I might. I don't know, but maybe I don't. But then I look at a channel who shows the play button, and then they're showing off how popular they are by showing that play button. They're just hyping up themselves, celebrating, making it all about them and their popularity and their fame and their success based off of others, but their success rather than the video that they're producing, rather than what they're saying, rather than what they're doing. And then it's about them. And then it's like, it's not valuable anymore because it's about them. You see where I'm coming from with this. So, I do believe that this is all I have to say on this. I'm going to, post this. This is a shorter podcast episode than the other ones. I don't have much to say. I just want to add on to it and clarify. Yeah. That is all that I want to say, and I will be putting a different image for a play button into this video. The image that I kind of regret putting in, hopefully if I can get it, in the other video, because I was like, I could have put a different image, and I'm going to make it up to you by putting that image in this one. So anyway, bye for now, and hopefully I will do other things today and just, relax and spend the rest of the day, listening to podcasts or reading or whatever I choose to do. Anyway, bye for now, everyone.